Hey guys and girls, it's Tom Panos here. Sorry for the delay in coming back to you. I said 4:30, we're running around 10 minutes behind. The main reason is the place I went to go get my coffee. So here's a great story for you to understand why I believe that systems beat goals and why process trumps motivation any day of the week. So there's a cafe called Aromas, which is just around there. There's a queue that is like about 75 people long. So I get in the queue and then I think to myself, hey, I can't shoot the Sunday night afternoon rant and still get onto my flight on time. So I leave that cafe and I go to another cafe that's got about a quarter of the line, right? Anyway, long story short is the place that had the 75 people was turning over and turning over and turning over. The other place, I sat there and I waited because they made a mistake. And what happens is this, when I came back, there was another guy who was sitting at my table that hadn't even got up to get a coffee, had actually gone and got himself one from Aroma, and was finished. What's the point? That sometimes the way McDonald's is successful is not that they've got the smartest people on the planet, but what it is, I'm just listening to whether that's my flight. It's not, it's Budapest. So what's the point? The point is, if you have got systems and processes, you'll build a fortune. If you're just a hard worker, you'll just get by, right? So this need and desire to have a business that is documented where things are sort of ticked off and shit happens, that creates a great customer experience. You could be the most motivated person on the planet, but if you've got systems and processes that are fucked, what will actually happen is the customer service experience will be shit. Work on the systems. Hard work will make you money. Process and systems will make you a fortune. Anyway, guys and girls, let me just go on and talk to you about this Sunday night rant. I've got around 10 minutes because I'm pretty sure my flight's going to be called. Got my mum sitting next to me on the side there. I've got all these kids around me. I've got no access to the lounge here because it's One World is a Qantas people that I fly with, and I haven't used those in Israel. Anyway, so here's the deal. I think at the moment there's a lot of guys and girls that get seduced into social media companies or social media courses, or they get approached by digital marketing companies telling them that they're going to give them an incredible new business reach by using various technologies. I have to say to you, I know that working with some of the best agents in the country, Gav Rubenstein, right? Look at this guy here. He does his own social media, right? The Novaks, who I've been working with for about a year and a half, I've seen this business move in. They are now the leaders and innovators in real estate technology. They are constantly selling real estate now off Facebook, right? We're seeing lots of people, I talked about Paul from Morrison Kleeman, who's probably watching this, does over 400 GCI in his first year in real estate, where social media has been a big part of his strategy. Josh Tessel and Taney Jane. Man, the list goes on, guys and girls, and I'm just going to run through 5 or 6 strategies that I think you need to understand on social. And by the way, this is coming from a guy whose audio matches his video. I'm not a fraud on social. I pay very little money on social media, right? And what I do is this. What I do is I've learned that there are 5 or 6 things that have helped me. I've built a whole brand on social. In the world, Tom Ferry number 2, Gary Vaynerchuk number 1, myself number 3. Everyone else is a long shot under real estate category between the 3 of us. And I'm going to run through some key things you've got to do. The first thing I'd say is you've got to understand, don't get seduced into the Monopoly game. What's a Monopoly game? Being rich on Monopoly is like being broke in real life. It's just a game on Monopoly, right? And in social media, don't get sucked into this thing where you see someone that's got 60,000 views but 1 like and no comments. Because what these people have done is they've gone off and spent a heap of money on Facebook, and then what's actually happened is people click on for 1 second and then click off. So that is spam, right? So understand the difference between paid and organic. Look out for it. You'll see a lot of people will have 30, 40,000 views, and then you'll look at it It's been a sponsored thing. They've thrown thousands and thousands of dollars, but no one cares. What you want to try and do is win the organic game initially to build a tribe that's got your vibe. And the way that you do that is you don't win it falsely. So let me move on. Number 2 is actually what I really spoke about. It's about getting a tribe that's got your vibe, right? What happens is you start building followers that get you. They like you. They like the fact that when you're producing content, that content seems to actually solve a problem for them. And what I've got to say to you is that what you want to do is play the long game on social, but play it frequent. And that, what I mean by that is, I think you've got to be posting 4 or 5 times a day. The next thing I was going to say is understand the algorithm of the pre-record versus the live. I'm going to you live now. I could have pre-recorded this, right? And actually uploaded it, but I know that the power is on live. And the reason why is Facebook, that owns Insta, and Google, which owns YouTube, love live algorithms. The reason they love it, it's authentic. They love it because they know that live television is very hard to reproduce. In fact, the only things that are ever live on TV are the most things that TV companies pay for, media companies pay for, and that is sports, right? They pay a lot for sport because live sells. News is also live. They're probably the 2 most watched things on television. And what you've got to do with live is you've got to let go of worrying about what your competitors are saying about you on the live game. So here's the deal about your competitors. Number 1 is once you start getting ahead of them, they're not going to want to do it. Number 2 is they're going to not want to do it because they're going to want to not be a shit second best. Number 3, initially what your competitors will do is that they'll sort of, laugh at you. Then they'll get curious. Then they're going to sort of get too embarrassed about copying you. I mean, I've got to the stage now, hey Sanjay, what a great event we had in the UK. Follow Sanjay, top guy. I really enjoyed presenting at that event. We did a masterclass on the Thursday. We did a great event on the Friday. And I did talk about social media at that event. And gang, I'm going to say to you, you have to understand this on social, that you can become so good out there that you win the digital interview that your competitors start paying Google. And that happens to me. Competitors go by the name Tom Panos. It used to fucking piss me off, and then I get flattered by it. I get flattered by people that are trainers and coach in Australia that say, fuck, his name is so good, let's actually go to Google, pay money for his name because it drives traffic, right? This is so important for you to understand on why building a personal brand is critical in real estate. The next thing I'll say to you is, so we talked about pre-record versus live. Choose live. Amal, who's watching this, I'm sure, is getting 5 times the views on live versus pre-records. Let's move on. Work out, this is critical, work out the 5 things that keep your market up at night. This is a very important thing because what you want to do is to be a content curator and a content creator on problems that are created in your marketplace. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't post what you want to post what your marketplace wants. So you've got to understand they have a pain point. They can't sleep at night. You become the sleeping pill that helps them sleep at night. This is the secret. So what does that mean in real estate? If you're a vendor that's not getting any traction on your property and you can't sleep at night, in comes along Taney Jane, produces a video that talks about how he sold a property that was sitting on the market for 3 months and he lists it and sells it. That's what they want to hear. What they want to hear is things that are keeping them up at night, right? They want a buyer. A lot of vendors just want a buyer. Why wouldn't you film a video with a buyer next to you saying, this is Sarah. Sarah is looking for a 1-bedroom apartment in Summer Hill. It's got to be an Art Deco apartment and it's got to be near the station. She's got $800,000 to spend, unconditional loan approval from a broker. Please call me. By the way, gang, I'm mindful of time. I'm going to have to board my flight any fucking moment. Guys, let me keep running through. The next thing is do your own posts. Do your own posts. Do your own posts. Why? Because people can tell whether you paid a company creating artificial, reproduced cookie cutter approaches. post on the go. What's the best camera? Hey guys, come and say hi. What's the best camera you can have? The best camera you can have is a mobile phone. It's the only one that I know that you can actually shoot and upload. No waiting for some Dropbox file, right? Next thing I was going to say to you, you've got to, so please do your own posts. Yes, use things like WordSwag, which is a great app to actually get your content and actually make it look good creatively. But what you want to do is you want to be saying your words. And on that point, can I say, talk on social media the way you talk to your friends. Talk on social media to 10,000 people like you speak to one person. That's the absolute secret. Next thing is, understand the ecosystems. You've got to understand there are three big players. Guys, just... They're talking in Hebrew, and I'm trying to work out whether they're calling my airline. Okay, guys, I don't think it's me, but you know what? I'm getting a little bit anxious, and I don't want to miss this flight, so I'm going to speed up. Google owns YouTube. Facebook owns Insta. Microsoft owns LinkedIn. You never cross-post. You don't go off and put a link from YouTube on Facebook, because think about the ownership. They hate each other. They don't want the traffic going away. So you must always put things in natively. The next thing is, don't underestimate the power of the review world. And on social media, particularly on Facebook, even realestate.com does it now. Get buyers and sellers to be giving you reviews. What are the three main platforms for reviews? Facebook, Google, Rate My Agent, and realestate.com. Move on. Sound authentic. Even if if you don't swear in private life, don't swear in public life. And if you swear in private life, fucking swear in public life. Be the same person. Be the same person all the time, because people get it. People can pick it up when you shift. Next thing is understand what are hot at the moment, what are hot things that you should be posting on Insta. Number one, I would definitely be doing buyer requests. Like you got a hot buyer, put them on video, right? And say this is what they're looking for. Expired listings that you've sold that other agents couldn't sell, I'd be doing that. Vendor testimonials, I would be doing that. Next strategy, Tanae taught me this. Share into groups. Every time you post, you can go into groups and post that, and all of a sudden you might have the Haberfield mothers group. Post in there if Haberfield market matters to you. The next thing is this: understand, repurpose your content. Get content and you can repurpose it. You can strip the sound off and use a podcast. You can strip the video, upload it onto YouTube separately. When you're going live, it does help to actually have 3 devices. I'm at an airport. I'm not going to fucking set up 3 devices now to go YouTube, Insta, Facebook, right? I'm already anxious and stressed about losing this flight as it is. I've got my mum who walks at around a third of the pace that I do. That has been a learning curve in Israel. Guys and girls, I'm going to sign off on this point. Follow Shane Beaumont. He's great on Insta. Follow Tanae Jane, Josh Tessalin, Paul from Morrison Kleeman. Follow the Novaks, guys and girls. And on this point, I'm letting you know, do never get sucked into someone that's going to tell you this is the way to do social. First thing you do is you just go to their own social media account, suss them out. What the fuck are they all about? If they can't make their own bed, how are they going to make your bed? Guys, signing off.